अस्सलाम वालेकुम प्यारे नाज़रीन इकराम। तो आज की इस वीडियो में हम आपको होल वाचर कोर्स मुकम्मल डिटेल के साथ बताएंगे। तो ये वीडियो होल वाचर कन्फाइंड स्पेस के मतलब है। तो जिन लोगों ने होल वाचर का टेस्ट देना है तो उनके लिए ये वीडियो है, और भी जिन्होंने वॉश वगैरह करना है या वॉश करना है, तो ये सब सेफ्टी के रिलेटेड वीडियोस है। तो इनको मुकम्मल देखने का फ़ायदा आपको ये होगा कि आप सेफ्टी के अच्छे एक कैंडिडेट बन जाएंगे और अपनी जॉब को अच्छे तरीके से परफॉर्म कर सकेंगे। तो सबसे पहले होता है कन्फाइंड स्पेस एंट्री एज अ स्पेस दैट इज़ लार्ज इनफ एंड सो कन्फिगरेंट दैट एन एम्प्लॉय can easily enter bodily and perform work. Confined space has limited or restricted means of entry or exit. Confined space is not designed for continuously work. Remember, if you break the plan of confined space, you have entered the confined space. A confined space are dangerous. Confined space are dangerous because they may contain hazards in air, can trap you inside. The space can contain slip and fall hazards, can contain hazards they you might be unable to see. And permanent required confined space. A permanent required confined space is confined space that has one or more following phases. Has the potential to contain hazardous atmosphere, contain material that has the potential for engulfing an entrant, as an internal configuration such that an entrant could become trapped or asphyxiating, or contains any other serious safety or health hazard. Confined space permit should be valid. Example of permit required confined space: tanks, manholes, boilers, furnaces, sewers, silos, hoppers, violets and pipes, trenches, tunnels, docks, bin pits. A non-permanent confined space: a confined space that does not contain or have the potential to contain and any hazards capable of causing death of serious physical harm. Drop ceiling, motor control cabinet, and potential hazard in confined space. XY citing oxygen deficiency 19.5% to 23.5%. Oxygen concentration: CO2 is toxic in higher and concentration of 7% to 10%. Cause dizziness, headache, vessel hiring and dysfunction and consequences. Toxic material: carbon monoxide, hydrogen sulfide, welding fumes, corrosive. And mechanical hazards: mixture, crusher, engulfment, soil around and excavation, grain in a silo, powdered material in a bin, electricity, flammable, combustible, methane, hydrogen, acetylene, propane, gasoline fumes. And oxygen deficiency: oxygen could be removed from the air in a confined space by material in the space could dissipate the oxygen. Roasting could create a chemical reaction that uses the oxygen. The space should be removed with a gas to prevent explosion. 90.5% or 23.5% oxygen concentration. Ideal immediately dangerous life or health. Any condition which poses an immediate threat to the health or life and intent or could cause irreversible adverse health effect or would interfere with an individual ability to escape and any death from a permanent space. Unstable or dangerous work of surfaces, falling objects, insect or animal biological. Management rules responsibilities. Management must develop and implement a confined space entry program that complies with all so the harmful requirement. Each unique confined space must be addressed with a CSP plan. Plans must be periodically reviewed and updated. There are many rules you may to be asked to or take on in the confined space entry process, depending on your position and training. Confined space entry rules: entrant standby man, 5 watcher, confined space entry supervisor, work permit issuer, receiver, gas tester. Note: all of these rules are important to ensure a safe confined space in trace. These rules are covered in this course and in greater detail in the gas testing and work permit course. We will now look at some of the measures. Rule management must designate confined space entry supervisors who will provide to the on-site guidance, monitoring, and supervision of the program. We will now look at the rule of confined space entry supervisor standby man entrant. Confined space entry requirements: standby man must be present, log sheet must be maintained, a retrieval line must be conducted to ensure point and entrant. The employer authorized and trained by employer who will physically enter the confined space to perform the work. Only authorized trained person enter the confined space. Duties of authorized entrant: review all permits, review entry plan, check work and site preparation, understanding operational hazards in the confined space, properly use equipment as required by a permit, properly train for use of PPPs and work, communicate with the attendant, the employee who remains outside the confined space, the attendant, the hall watcher, the standby man are same. Duties of authorized hall watcher: he is responsible for monitoring the internal external activities associated with work in and around a confined space. Unauthorized entry warns the entrant of any unusual condition. Summon the rescue personnel and other emergency services if needed. He is generally stationed at an entry point or to the confined space near to where the work is taking place. This worker acts as the eyes and ears of the entrance in the confined space because of the important responsibilities associated with monitoring confined space activities. Standby duties are its only assigned job. Perform a non-entry rescue as specified by employee rescue procedure. Perform non-duties that might interfere with the primary duty to monitor and protect authorized entrant. Note: in some cases, he could also be the fire watch. Review the entry plan. Understand the possible hazards, maintain entry log, monitor activities inside and outside the confined space, maintain two-way communication, notifies personnel in the event of an emergency, does not leave the entry point, never enters the confined space. Primary responsibilities: no other duty. Other entrant to evacuate when an unsafe condition develops and entrants display unusual behavior effect from hazards explore. He must leave the area and not leave the invited. Entry supervisor: the confined space supervisor is work permit issuer or someone who has been assigned by an issuer and direct all aspects of the confined space entry. The confined space entry supervisor must by now confined space entry hazards and controls. He must be trained and experienced about gas testing and gas monitoring procedure. The confined space entry supervisor inspects the job site and studies the exciting hazards both in and out of the confined space. He is involved in hazard identification and control and document safety. Requirement on the confined space. The confined space supervisor oversees entry operation and will terminate an entry as required, such as when job condition change or an emergency rescue. The confined space supervisor has overall responsibilities for and must be able to manage all aspects of confined space. Ensure confined space entry and gas test logs are properly completed. Ensure the proper PPE is provided to personnel entering the confined space and to each standby man. Ensure means of communication for extinguisher and SCABA if required S2S confined space entry are available to each standby man. Verify rescue equipment and rescue teams are available in the event of an emergency requiring evacuation of the confined space. Ensure to confined space entry is barricaded or blocked and no entry sign posted if confined space entry is suspended. Terminate the confined space entry job and cancel work permit when unsafe condition develops. Exhort the alarm for making arrangement for rescuing an injured entrant is a confined space supervisor responsibility. Only trained rescue teams are allowed to perform a confined space rescue. However, the confined space entry supervisor should be familiar with rescue methods, techniques, and types of rescue equipment used in confined space rescue operation. Additionally, he should know and have experience with equipment used in confined space entry operations to conduct a safe entry, exit, and work within the space. Isolate the space. Close valves, empty the space, log out, tag out equipment, clean residue for the space, ventilate the space, use mechanical ventilation, fans, air horns. According to the AHA, American Industrial Hygienic Association, an acceptable practice is 20 complete air changes per hour, or one every 3 minutes for an confined space. Ventilation of a space will allow also vary depending on the type of material that is being ventilated from the space. Make sure air supply is not contaminated. Confined space complete permit. The permit must be correctly and complete filled out prior to entry. The permit must be activated to supervise signature to be valid. The entry permit shall identify the permit space to be entered, the purpose of the entry, the date and the authorized duration of the entry permit does not indicate exact times that a permit is good for company standards and may require exact times to be placed on a permit as an example and of shift exit. When work is completed, the permit form should be returned to the safety department or department responsible for maintaining the complete sheet and closed permit. All permits must be kept on file for at least 1 year. Test the gases. Oxygen should be at least 90.5%, less than 23.5%. Check the combustible less than 10% of the LEL lower explosive limit. Check for toxic gases, oxygen, flammable agent, and other toxic agent. Any other hazardous material and determined by the use of the space. Check by competent person. Atmosphere testing must be performed. Atmosphere prior to every entry when the space is vacant after a 10-minute ventilation period if ventilation is necessary. At least hourly for permit required confined space. Note: a good practice is retest the atmosphere after breaks or having been out of the confined space for a period of time. More frequently if condition or spaces warrant. Enter the space and proceed with work, and remember, an attendant will be posted near the entrance for the duration of the work. He shall be constant communication with the entrance while the job is in progress. The authorized entrant within the permit space, the attendant must maintain the permit and sign in log for the duration of the work. When the job is done, remove all personal tools and debris from the space. Close the space, close the permit, review the job with the employer. Emergency rescue teams must be available while authorized entrants are in the confined space. Deaths often occur during rescue. Employees attempts to rescue an entrant without of the proper training and then get caught themselves in the confined space. Rescue techniques. There are three types of rescue techniques. Non-entry rescue, that is conducted without any entry into the confined space. This can be conducted by such means as a rope or crane. Entry by others. Some companies do not have trained personnel for emergency rescue. They depend on others to conduct emergency rescue, such as the fire department. Entry by trained employees from the company. Some companies have trained personnel within the company to conduct rescue. Emergency rescue. If a rescue is required, the rescue service must close off the area, get authorized entrants out of the space, and perform first aid when needed. It is best to use a retrieval system to bring the employee out of the space. Never enter the space without proper training and unless it is necessary. Authorized entrants should wear harness conducted to the retrieval line. The retrieval equipment must be in place before employees enter the permit space. So दोस्तों नेक्स्ट वीडियो में हम अपलोड करेंगे फायर वाचर, होल वाचर तो हमने अपलोड कर दिया है, तो एओश ओशा और फर्स्ट एड भी अपलोड करेंगे। तो चैनल को सब्सक्राइब कर ले ताकि आपको हर नई वीडियो का नोटिफिकेशन मिल सके। तो उसमें हम जो अपलोड करने वाले हैं नेक्स्ट, उसमें फैब्रिकेशन भी का कोर्स भी हो सकता है, पाइप फिटर का भी हो सकता है, और एओश ओशा, फर्स्ट एड, PTW, फायर वाचर और फर्स्ट एड हमने कर दिया। तो मिलते हैं नेक्स्ट वीडियो में। खुदा हाफिज़। अल्लाह निगहबान।